Welcome to the 21st Annual DuPage Gala. Introducing Metropolitan Family Services DuPage Board Chair, Pat Whiteside, and Executive Director of DuPage, Nikki Cameron.
Good evening. I'm Pat Whiteside, Board Chair of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage. Welcome to the 21st Annual DuPage Gala.
Hello, I'm Nikki Cameron, Executive Director of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage. Thank you for being here tonight to celebrate the almost 26,000 individuals empowered throughout DuPage County through the programs and services we provide at Metropolitan DuPage.
When families are strong, communities are strong. For more than 90 years, Metropolitan DuPage has been a beacon and trusted support for families throughout our county, providing a wide range of services designed to wrap around families and individuals and help them reach their greatest potential. Behavioral health is a cornerstone of the services many families and individuals need, needs that can be wide-ranging and complex, and are often interrelated. You may have heard the term behavioral health, but wonder what it means. Behavioral health refers to the relationship between our daily habits, good and bad, and their effect on our physical and mental health. Our program tonight will spotlight the amazing impact Metropolitan DuPage's behavioral health services make on children and families in our communities, how these supports are literally helping to keep families together. These services are even more in demand since the COVID pandemic first began. Our waitlist for behavioral health services continues to grow, here in DuPage and agency-wide.
Before we move forward, we're pleased to recognize and thank the team that has made this event possible, starting with our Gala co-chairs and host committee. Dan McGowan, co-chair. Emily Shoup, co-chair. April Arnold. Tom Carmody. Brian Schmiel. Kristen Schmiel. Sarah Clark. Sharon D'Alessandro, Chris Dabovich, Carol Demas, Stacy Gannon, Chris Humbert, Tom Hutchinson, Max Leekman, Ann Leventree, Feline Lortz, Jean Malloy, Jason Nagel, Marcy Peterson, Jeff Platt, Greg Vesta, Patrick Whiteside, Leslie Wilson. Thank you for all of your work on the DuPage Gala.
We are also extremely grateful to our sponsors, whose support is invaluable. As their names appear on the screen, I'll take a moment to extend my special thanks for their important role in empowering DuPage communities. And please know, there are additional ways for you to show your support for Metropolitan DuPage tonight through our silent auction. It's easy to participate. It's all done by phone. Check the bottom of your screen for the texting information.
We welcome Megan Lynch, manager of the DMG Charitable Fund, for a special message of support. The DMG Charitable Fund was established by Dooley Health and Care Physicians in partnership with DuPage Foundation. Megan is the manager of their charitable fund supporting nonprofit partners with a focus on food security, affordable housing and support services, and access to health care and community wellness.
Good evening. I'm Megan Lynch, manager of the DMG Charitable Fund at Dooley Health and Care. At Dooley, we are focused on helping people and communities flourish. Beyond our clinic doors, our charitable fund supports nonprofit partners like Metropolitan Family Services DuPage that are committed to that same goal. The charitable fund has been a longtime supporter of family shelter service, and we are honored to continue that partnership by supporting the 21st Annual Gala of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage. We believe that by coming together, Metropolitan Family Services and Family Shelter Service are providing the holistic services and specifically behavioral health programming needed to help families impacted by domestic violence rebuild their lives. That's why the Charitable Fund is proud to provide a matching grant this evening. I challenge you to give as generously as possible. For every dollar you donate, we'll double it, up to the first $10,000. We are grateful for your support of families in our community. Thank you.
Each year, Metropolitan DuPage recognizes individuals who've demonstrated outstanding support for Metropolitan Family Services and our mission of strengthening families and communities with our Roger K. Johnson Leadership Award. Our DuPage Gala co-chairs Dan McGowan and Emily Shoup will introduce this year's honoree and share a bit about the award and its significance.
Please welcome DuPage Gala co-chairs, Dan McGowan and Emily Shoup.
The Roger K. Johnson Leadership Award is named in honor of a former executive director of Metropolitan DuPage, whose longtime tenure with Metropolitan Family Services, as well as leadership and advocacy for all DuPage County families, continue to inspire our services today. The recipient of the Roger K. Johnson Leadership Award helps Metropolitan DuPage carry out its mission to provide and mobilize the services needed to strengthen families and communities. The honoree understands the importance of strong families. They also know that families are the foundation of society, shape the identity of its members, and teach important life lessons such as responsibility. The honoree also serves as a role model to others and advocates on behalf of Metropolitan DuPage and the families we serve, both of which directly benefit from our awardees' values, vision, interests, philanthropy, and volunteer service. In continuing this great tradition of leadership and commitment to empowering DuPage families and communities through service and action, we are honored to recognize Paul Pyrcik as the 2022 recipient of the Roger K. Johnson Leadership Award.
Paul Pyrcik served as a member of our community board for more than 23 years, from 1997 through 2020, including 9 years as board chair, from 2003 to 2012. His volunteer service, including leading and participating in all key board committees and initiatives, as he worked closely with the agency's last 5 executive directors. During this time, Paul and his wife Robin attended and supported each of our 20 previous DuPage galas. Additionally, Paul's previous community involvement included many years of service on the boards of Junior Achievement of DuPage County, the United Way of Hinsdale, and the United Way of Suburban Chicago. Professionally, Paul has been a leader in philanthropic resource development in DuPage County, serving as Director of Development for Central DuPage Health, now Northwestern Medicine, Bennett Academy, and the Driscoll Foundation, among others. His working career included nearly 20 years with Waste Management, Inc., where he held positions as Director of Community Investment and Director of Internal Audit. He served on the board of Suburban Chicago Planned Giving Council. With more than 40 years of for-profit and nonprofit experience, Paul has brought his mission-focused leadership to the DuPage Community Board, enhancing the lives of those we serve. He has advocated for the importance of strong families, the acceptance of responsibility, and the empowerment of individuals. Paul has served as a role model, demonstrating respect and concern for all throughout our community. In 2020, Paul retired from the DuPage Community Board and promptly joined fellow former board peers on Metropolitan's DuPage Alumni Board. The leaders and mentors who serve on this alumni board continue to provide our agency and our community with valuable experience, wisdom, and support. Paul, whose father and mother both emigrated from Germany to the U.S. in the early 1950s, was born and raised in the Belmont-Cragen community of Chicago's Northwest Side. He attended Chicago Public Schools K-8, Lane Tech High School, and DePaul University, where he earned his BS degree in business and accounting. Paul and Robin have been married for 37 years and are longtime residents of Lisle, Illinois. Together, they enjoy frequent gatherings with their adult children, Tim and Lindsay, and spending time with family and friends in the North Woods of Wisconsin. In recognition of and appreciation for more than 2 decades of dedicated volunteer leadership with Metropolitan Family Services DuPage, and for his continuing service and support of our DuPage community, we are honored to present Paul Pyrcik with our 2022 Roger K. Johnson Leadership Award.
Thanks very much, Dan. And an extra thank you to Dan, Emily, and the terrific members of the Event Planning Committee for leading this year's gala effort. Special thanks to the Metropolitan Family Services DuPage Community Board for selecting me as this year's Roger K. Johnson Award recipient. Thanks also to all of my friends, family members, and members of the Metropolitan Family team for taking time to join us virtually this evening. And none of this would have been possible without the kindness and incredible support of each and every individual, family, foundation, and organization that has blessed us with their attendance and financial support throughout the past year, and especially tonight. I can think of no greater honor than to be recognized by my board peers with an award that bears Roger Johnson's name. To receive this award from Metropolitan Family Services, an organization that I admire so much, fills my heart with gratitude and humility. Thank you very much. I had the privilege of working with Roger during my early years on the board and remain honored to call him my friend. I spoke with him just a few days ago, and he sends his warmest wishes to everyone. He and Judy are staying healthy, enjoying retirement, and spending as much time as possible with their extended family in their beloved Stormy Lake home in Wisconsin. Preparing for tonight, I thought a lot about the importance of family, and of my family in particular, and how incredibly blessed I have been. My parents started out with very little, but they and my brother Frank were my family, and they gave me so much. For the past 37 years, my wife Robin has been incredibly loving, generous, supportive, and yes, patient. And our adult children, Timothy and Lindsay, have been special gifts to us. Our daughter-in-law, Paula, is the most recent addition to the Pyrcik family. I've had a chance to reflect on the many tangible things provided to me by my family, but at this point in my life, it's the intangibles that stand out most. These include a sense of place and belonging, financial stability, the educational opportunities, comfort and support, security, safety, health, historical roots, freedom, confidence and pride, a sense of responsibility and accountability, a sense of what's right and wrong, and respect and humility. I know I share this feeling with many here tonight. Our families have provided us with so much. We have so much to be grateful for. We are so fortunate. We are indeed blessed. For a long time, I thought that everyone had family experiences similar to mine. But the years, and certainly volunteering at Metropolitan Family Services DuPage, has taught me many important things, not the least of which has been that there are lots of folks in my own community who aren't so lucky and whose family experiences, at least so far, have not been quite so positive. Not all families have two parents to share the load, to provide care and guidance and love. Others are without a spouse or a partner to provide acceptance, support, and sharing, and still other members who are separated due to circumstances beyond their control, preventing them from sharing, teaching, learning from each other. Some families lack the opportunities and basic resources to enable them to succeed. Others struggle mightily every day and have very few opportunities to celebrate. In the early years, when hearing of my involvement with Metropolitan Family Services, friends frequently asked the question, so what exactly does MFS do? I hate to admit it, but I sometimes struggle to come up with a concise explanation, finding a partial example or opting instead to refer them to the agency's website. The opportunity to serve on the board and time spent hanging around with some very smart Metropolitan Family people has taught me the answer to that question is not as long as I once thought. In fact, it's pretty simple. Professionals at Metropolitan Family Services DuPage provide much needed direct assistance to our neighbors, using a wide range of effective programs and services to help make their families healthier and stronger. In a confidential, personalized way, staff help women and men, young and old, individuals just like you and me, become better. Better husbands, better wives, partners, better parents for their kids, better children for their parents, better brothers and sisters for their siblings, better families, better friends and neighbors, better employees and employers, better students, better members of our community, better members of society. Can you think of a more important mission than that? What a wonderful purpose. What a beautiful gift. What an incredible team. In closing, I again want to thank all of you very much for being here this evening. Thanks for sharing this great honor with me and for gathering as an extended family to celebrate this wonderful 21st annual fundraising event. I ask you to stay close and to continue supporting the important work being done each and every day on behalf of all DuPage families. With your financial gift, tonight's goal of raising $310,000 is well within reach. Let's knock it out of the ballpark. The dedicated staff and committed volunteers of Metropolitan Family Services DuPage deserve our respect, our gratitude, and our generous support. Metropolitan Family can also use some additional direct assistance from us. As we continue to emerge from COVID-19 safeguards and social distancing, and as many of us consider revising our priorities, revisiting our old ways of doing things, and even reinventing ourselves, won't you please join me by taking a serious look at the multitude of roles you personally play in the lives of those around you. Together, let's commit to make a concerted effort to be better in each of these important roles. Better spouses, better sons and daughters, better siblings, better friends, better coworkers, better bosses, better neighbors, better grandparents, and yes, even better in-laws. I know many of you are already pretty darn good at these things, but some of us may have room for improvement. Just imagine what could happen if we each take a little more time to listen, to share, to talk, and to be kind. Together, the impact we have will truly be worth celebrating. Thank you very much.
During this year's DuPage Gala, we're highlighting behavioral health and the dynamic impact Metropolitan DuPage's services make on families in our community. As mentioned earlier tonight, you may have heard the term behavioral health and wondered what it is or wonder how it relates to mental health. Behavioral health and mental health are connected, but they're not the same. Here's the difference. Behavioral health refers to the relationship between our daily habits, good and bad, and their effect on our physical and mental health. Mental health is a component of behavioral health and focuses solely on a person's psychological state. All mental health issues are part of behavioral health, but not all behavioral health issues are related to mental health. At Metropolitan Family Services, here in DuPage and throughout all of the communities Metropolitan serves, we provide a wide range of behavioral health services designed to empower children, adults, older adults, and families experiencing emotional, cognitive, and behavioral challenges, domestic violence, mental illness, or family challenges. Metropolitan focuses on the symptoms and actions that impact clients' mental and physical health. For instance, Depression can impact a client to the point where they won't want to see a medical doctor, jeopardizing their mental and physical health. To better serve our clients, we are incorporating a systems approach model to healthcare, one where multiple staff members bring their skills together as a team to serve clients' multifaceted needs. Therapists, case managers, peer mentors, and psychiatrists make up our integrative behavioral health care teams. In addition to our integrative teams, we provide a range of additional services to clients, such as support groups, case management, advocacy, and legal aid that are all part of Metropolitan's wraparound approach, which is designed to serve clients more holistically and promote their well-being.
That same focus on clients' well-being characterizes our Adoption and Guardianship Support and Preservation Program, which is one of our leading behavioral health programs. Adoption and Guardianship Support and Preservation provides home-based intervention to families formed through adoption or subsidized guardianship. Our team of therapists provide individual and family counseling, crisis intervention, and 24-hour on-call assistance that helps families address adjustment, grief and loss resolution, attachment, trauma, identity, educational, and emotional issues. This DCFS-supported program also provides therapeutic respite services, educational and support groups for parents and children, workshops, and connections to additional resources. Many of the children in this program have experienced severe emotional and/or physical trauma before being adopted into the families that seek Metropolitan DuPage for help. The trauma takes a massive toll on the children's well-being, leading to dysfunctional and often destructive behaviors and stress in the family unit. Such was the situation with the Coletti family, whose adopted daughter and 2 sons had previously experienced neglect and trauma. When Metropolitan DuPage therapist Brenda Love first visited the Coletti household to work with their daughter, now 6, the daughter was unable to manage strong emotions. She was screaming, hollering, and crying. No one knew what triggered the daughter's actions. These behaviors created chaos. The parents needed additional education about thoughts and feelings and how they can impact behavior, as well as support to meet the needs of the children. But over time, Brenda's seasoned therapeutic skills and intuitive ability to connect with her clients helped the Coletti family obtain skills and tools to regulate and thrive as a family. By teaching the children how to articulate their feelings by helping them develop language and connecting the language to their behaviors, Brenda enabled them and their parents to positively change their behavior and strengthen their attachment. Brenda's patient and caring work, along with the dedicated partnership and support of the children's adoptive parents, has been fruitful. Not long ago, the family celebrated that all 3 children were able to sit down at the table and work together at a therapy session. They also have continued to come together as a family and have peaceful dinners, game nights, and simply appreciate each other's company.
Amanda, what led you to seek services at Metropolitan Family Services DuPage?
My husband and I have fostered in both Cook County and Lake County. And at the time, we had adopted our youngest 2. And so they were 2, 3, and 4 years old. And with foster, you get a lot of services. But then after they're adopted, those services, that kind of, what would you call it?
They kind of go away.
Right.
They dissipate.
You're done.
Indeed.
So you're starting a new transition as an adopted family rather than a foster family. So I was so grateful to hear that we still had an opportunity for post-adoptive services. And that's when I reached out to Metropolitan.
Brenda, from a therapist's perspective, what challenges were the Coletti family facing?
Well, it was 2 years between the time that you really needed those services, right?
Right.
And so those services actually helped stabilize the family. And those services were then taken away. So you needed to make sure the consistency. You needed those services back in your home. So Metropolitan was a way and a vehicle to keep those services in the home, because all 3 kids have very different traumas too. Mm-hmm. Not only are they different in their personalities, but they also have different traumas. And those different traumas need to be addressed specifically differently. And she was not getting that kind of information, that help. Mm-hmm. She was not getting that kind of help when she was as a foster parent.
Yes.
I mean, when she became an adoptive parent. Yeah.
And my husband and I we're both in education. I taught for almost a decade. So I'm like, I've got this. I've taught classrooms of kids. I'm patient and can do this. But again, the needs, we had to learn about trauma and just how your brain develops and what each child needed. So as we were shifting from then that foster family to a now adopted family, like, okay, how do we settle things? How do we set the routines? Because we did know that early intervention is the best for your kids. If we can intervene and get them the help they need now, that will help us all in the long run. So, but there was a state of chaos because each kid would kind of dysregulate or kind of pick at each other, and we were just unsettled. So,
yeah. There was a lot of, I would say, there was a lot of not knowing exactly what intervention or what we should do about each individual kid. Mm-hmm. And so we had to start with one child first.
Yes.
And we started with the child who had the most trauma. Her trauma was, I feel like it was very extensive. She was left, is it okay for me to talk about that? She was actually left in the cart seat for long periods of time. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of neglect. Mm-hmm. And she did not, as she became older, she did not have the verbal ability to tell us how her body was feeling. She did not have the language around, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm this, I'm that. And so what would happen is that she would dysregulate. Yes. And in that dysregulation, it disrupted the entire household.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, when you came to Metropolitan DuPage and Brenda started working with your daughter, what did you find most helpful?
I've been reaching out and just reading different things, but this is from an excerpt from Bridge Transracial Adoption Guide. And it says, parenting any child, adopted or not, requires knowledge, humility, intuition, and growing wisdom and skill. Parenting a child who is adopted requires additional specific knowledge about the intricacies of how adoption will inform a child's experience. Parenting a child who is adopted and being raised in a family with a different racial background is yet another unique and specialized reality that requires additional considerations to help ensure that a child will grow to be an adult who finds joy and meaning in their life. So these were some things that I've been thinking, my faith is strong and just a firm foundation for me. So I've been praying over my family, my kids that, came and are now adopted. And I was even praying for some diversity in our family because as a transracial family, as white parents with Black and biracial kids, it matters who they see and who they have in their lives. So when Brenda walked in the door, I was just so excited and grateful because here is this amazing woman as a role model, as an example, leaning in, teaching my kids. And so I just have to share that too. That was a big, big deal for our family. She walked in and there was just this calm and this peace, and she just heard and understood and saw what was happening.
This was just one of the most wonderful experiences that I've ever experienced. I walked into this woman's house and she started talking about transracial adoption. She started talking about her faith. She started talking about how much she loved her kids. And it was clear that she was providing a safe and a safe home where her kids can thrive and grow. But then you saw that there was chaos going on. There was a lot of chaos going on. And she welcomed me where sometimes it's kind of difficult when I walk into a home because I'm invading someone else's space and they are really, sometimes they are very guarded when you walk in. Some of our clients are very guarded when we walk into their homes. And so this woman opened up her home. Her kids loved me from the very beginning. And we kind of worked on some basic things, such as we really worked on psychoeducation, just really understanding how the brain works, what trauma does to the brain, and how to regulate, and not only regulate with the children, but also the parents
Yes.
had to learn how to regulate. And that's a very difficult process because we sometimes come from an authoritarian kind of way of thinking. Do what I ask you to do. And kids with trauma, it just does not work. It does not work. And so we really were able to work together to find solutions to help all three of the kids
and me
learn how to regulate. Yeah.
Yes. And I will speak to that. Brenda has just as much for her working with the kids and helping them process as for me, because she validated, like I was struggling to know how to even like discipline in certain ways or just to, raise, and she would hear and see it and validate and then help work through. Because a lot of times as parents, especially with young ones, you would want to like stop the meltdowns and stop because you want to try to create peace. Well, the kids need to learn how to work through those big feelings to order to process and get through and know how to manage them. So Brenda was really good in helping me identify even my feelings and kind of separate like my identity from the behaviors.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's something that a lot of parents struggle with whether or not they all have expectations. Every parent has expectations. And then now you have adopted these three kids, and these three kids are causing all kinds of chaos in the household. And so you're feeling like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And I'm a bad parent.
Right.
I don't want to be a bad parent. I'm a good parent. I know what I love these kids. And sometimes loving them is just not enough. We need to learn certain things to help our children.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
Amanda, what kind of results did you and your family experience?
And Brenda did a great job. I mean, when I think back to those first meetings with my daughter, she didn't really want to be alone. She wanted us all together, and just that we need to work on attachment. And so we have come such a long way where she's like, okay, Mom, you can go now. You can go. Miss Brenda's here. So like that is healthy attachment because we were able to form that attachment. So then now my middle one can attach to others. And so that is huge, huge.
Yes, she would not, when Mom was out of the room, she was looking, or she was always, Mom, sit here. Mm-hmm. Mom, sit here. Mm-hmm. But now it's like,
get out of here. I'm here. Yes.
And can I say something about her?
Yes.
She is great at telling you how she's feeling. She'll tell you, it's time to hold me now.
Yes.
Hold me. It's time to hug me. It's time, I want water. I want this. And once she gets it, she's calmer.
Yes. Yeah. And I have a quick, cute story too. She's really been able to verbalize her feelings now. And we were going to a theater for a play, and she said, Mom, I'm feeling anxious. And so it's interesting because anxious can be like even an excited feeling. We had only taught her kind of, it's like you're nervous about something, but you could also feel that same feeling, but you're excited. So she is not only understanding anxious, but that it could be like excited, or it could be like you're nervous. So she's really going deep, and it's been able to help her just settle in her body. I think when Brenda first came, one of our big things is my wish or hope for my daughter was that she would just feel settled in her body, because there was just this uneasiness. Yes. And she really has been able to calm.
You remember when you showed me a picture of her kind of just sitting out the sideline and not being able to even socialize because she wasn't even sure about how she would react to it. And it was just amazing to me. Now I think that she socializes a whole lot better, with other kids. So.
Definitely.
Brenda, how do you feel about being able to help families like the Colettis find peace and healing as a therapist at Metropolitan DuPage?
I came to Metropolitan as an intern. And when I experienced the care and the amount of services that were available to people in need, I said, I have to work here. And not only did I do that, I wrote a letter to the president, and I said, I have to work here because of what they offer. They give hope to moms and dads when sometimes things are just hopeless. We educate, we create awareness, about behavioral and mental health. And that's sometimes so reluctant. People are really so very reluctant to talk about mental health. And it helps build strong families. It changes lives. And so that experience in itself, changing a life, is what I'm all about. That's who I am. That's what I've been called to do. And I'm just thankful.
Me too.
For the opportunity.
Yes.
Amanda, what did you and your family appreciate most about receiving services from Metropolitan DuPage?
When they say wrap around, like 1 week it might be for me most of the time. 1 week it's like really truly focused on this kid. 1 week it's all of us. It has been, I guess, the consistency and the trusted voice and the knowledge like of the weekly interactions have been just something I so appreciate. And I'm so grateful for continued services now for my son, because we need them, but we've grown so much. And so it's exciting. It's exciting because there's hope. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
Wow. Emily and I are so moved by the Coletti family story and to learn how Metropolitan DuPage therapists, like Brenda Love, are working to help families in such stressful circumstances find hope, peace, and life. The work that Metropolitan's behavioral health team does is not easy. It requires great wisdom, patience, and compassion. But this is exactly the kind of support that Metropolitan Family Services DuPage provides to its clients every day. And your support makes it possible for Metropolitan DuPage to bring the best staff and services to families right here at home.
We ask you, if you haven't done so already, to please invest now in Metropolitan DuPage and the phenomenal difference it is making in behavioral health and in so many other areas that impact our quality of life, from early childhood education and economic stability programs to older adult and domestic violence services. There's no time like the present for you to make a difference. Text to give directions are on the screen. Your contribution will help so many and go towards making our DuPage community stronger, healthier, and happier.
Thank you all for joining us this evening, and a special thanks goes to everyone who participated with us online in the chat, and for those who shared photos from their gala watch parties. Don't forget to keep bidding on the silent auction items via GiveSmart. Remember that every dollar raised goes to helping a DuPage family. We look forward to gathering with you again next year at the 2023 DuPage Gala, dare I say, in person. Good night.
We greatly appreciate your support of the 21st Annual DuPage Gala. Your support makes a difference. In just a moment, you'll have an opportunity to interact with the other guest.